Hi, this is Dan Caron with MemberMouse, and I'm excited to be here today with Ryan Fritz from Hurlbut Visuals. How you doing today, Ryan?
Doing great. And yourself?
I'm well, thanks. I actually am really excited to be on this call because I have a small passion for video and photography, so I'm always checking out the latest cameras and looking at all sorts of specs that I don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's it's really great that we're going to go over this business today. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Tell me how you got started building membership sites, how you got started working with Hurlbut Visuals. Give me a little bit of background.
Yeah, the 10,000 footer is I'm actually based out of Corrales, New Mexico, which is a farming community just north of Albuquerque. We have an 8-acre estate here, and we have a guest cottage that we rent to many motion pictures. They've actually shot a couple motion pictures here on the property, and Shane was came in and rented our guest cottage, and this was about 8 years ago. And it was shooting a movie, and I don't remember. It was either Terminator 4 Salvation or Swing Vote or one of the 20 some odd features that he shot, which was based here in New Mexico. And we started talking and asked me what I did. And we're a web development shop here, located with clients all over the country. And it started from there, which was really initially was a portfolio site, which is still out there, which he uses for his work when going after a feature or commercial work or music videos, of which I'm sure the audience has seen a multitude of the movies as well as commercials and music videos from the Rolling Stones to just a multitude. So
Wow.
he gave me a call and said, "Hey Ryan, are you ready?" And I'm like, "Are you ready?" And that's been a relationship that we've had for many many years moving forward. So what started as a really quite simply as a portfolio site to show off his latest works, which can be seen at shanehurlbut.com, which just basically covers all his work. It's a online living biography for his new features that he's trying to get. Then started to get involved with his wife Lydia and Shane. Shane is an ASC member, which is the American Society of Cinematographers. It's an invited piece, and I think there's only about 400 and some odd of those guys worldwide. And it was done. He was accepted as an ASC member or brought in as an ASC member for his work on the Rat Pack, and so the ASC member is kind of the height of where you are in your career in terms of a cinematographer. But Shane and Lydia really believed and Shane's a big proponent of educating the next generation of
Mm.
filmmakers. I mean, it's a real big passion. And what we've seen in the marketplace is that for the most part, you know, major motion picture cinematographers are not opening the doors, so to speak, and sharing the information with the next up and comers in the industry, and that's the indie filmmakers, who blossom into the next great thing. And so this is where this all started from. And initially, it was the free. What you're actually seeing here as you scroll down is what we call the free side of the blog,
Mm-hmm.
and we had been doing this for years with very little monetization in terms of other than the sponsors that sponsor us, which is one revenue source into, because it takes a great deal of money to produce the content that is seen here. Shane is doing full on camera and lens tests to the degree that is not seen anywhere else. And so, this is where this spawned from. And we were looking at membership, solutions. And we happened across another solution that was unusable, unmanageable, because we're all WordPress based. And this system was another system that I won't even mention because it was the biggest waste of time that I've ever dealt with,
Oof.
and really a tank of money that got thrown at it. And one of the things that I've learned about the motion picture industry is that everything needs to happen fast and yesterday. But in our world, it's about calculating how we roll out. and what are the nuances of what we're trying to do. So it's my job to kind of couple that with the dose of reality in terms of how we can move things forward, and how we can do it in a proper manner for sustainability. And so then I happened to cross MemberMouse, and we really looked at MemberMouse, and because Shane, what we kept getting was comments on the free blog, which is what you're looking at now, which is basically, hey, I want more. And I want more in depth. I want in-depth camera tests. I want to have access to Shane, and which is kind of a big deal, because Shane, if you look at the comments in the blog, Shane is answering those comments directly. Now, he's down in New Orleans today, has been for the last couple of weeks, scouting a new project for Lionsgate. I believe it's Lionsgate. No, maybe it's not Lionsgate, but it's a new TV series for, I think it's AMC, maybe.
Into the Badlands.
Yeah, the Badlands, and you're exactly right. And so he's down there scouting that right now. And where was I? But he's still answering comments. And so in the need for more content, what transpired was the membership component, which is what we call Shane's Inner Circle.
Sure.
And the Inner Circle is really predicated on the in-depth content, and I think even another big part is access to an ASC cinematographer. He's a member of the Academy. I mean, this guy's the real deal. He's an active, major motion picture cinematographer, and he's telling you all the tricks. And it's, from DIY lighting, like Home Depot type stuff to the high-end gear, and trying to bring, the craft, the artistry of what he does to help the next great filmmaker. And that's what spawned our use of MemberMouse, and really, the success that we've had. Yeah. Now you're seeing there Shane's Inner Circle. What we've also done, and I'm going to put a feature request into MemberMouse that we do a forum piece.
Great.
But we're using Facebook, so there's a private Facebook page for Shane's Inner Circle where members are actually going in, and we are having two-way dialogues with the members themselves, which I think Shane is most proud of, is that it's a community that he's building. The Inner Circle is a community to really evolve that. And so that's how we got to MemberMouse. And, we're growing. There's nobody else out there in the industry. I've seen a couple of late starters that are almost copying kind of the direction that we're going. But the one thing that we have is Shane at the helm, and Lydia, his amazing, passionate wife, regarding cinematography in the world of education. We've got those two who are pushing this forward, coupled with us doing all the bit and byte work.
Great. Tell me a little bit about the size and the scale of the membership site. How many visitors a day do you get? Any type of revenue, number of members, anything that you're willing to reveal?
I don't know how much I can reveal in terms of some of the numbers, because we tie them really closely, as you see our trusted partners at the top.
Yep.
And so there's some numbers there that I can't really kind of get involved with, and I'd like to share and kind of open the kimono on that one. Let me see how I can kind of give you an idea. We do well over a million uniques a year, and we're growing very steadily.
Great.
And I'll just put it between 1 million and 2 million uniques a year, and we're steadily growing. What else can I say here? Our revenue numbers I can't really get into, other than they are growing. One of the things that we're challenged with is, and where we feel that we should be much further ahead of the curve, is the type of content that we're seeing and that's being delivered here. Is bar none, nobody on the planet is creating this type of content.
Right.
And so we would like to, the big thing about MemberMouse that I see is that it's a big animal. It's easy to set up and easy to get going, but you really need to strategize how you're rolling things out. And as you're pointing out there, you like the annual membership versus a monthly membership,
Hmm.
what that means, and really having in-depth conversations with everybody, and then seeing how to leverage the technology, because MemberMouse has a plethora of options, and it's easy to get set up and easy to get running, but there's a lot of stuff underneath the hood in order
Yeah.
to make you very
Yeah, I
successful.
mean, we don't dictate how you run your business. We give you all the flexibility that you need. So, yeah, the decisions that you make are almost unlimited.
Truly, truly, which can be kind of a daunting task,
Yep,
So
definitely.
have your game plan well understood and well honed before you venture into this world. Because one of the things that's advantageous for us is that we already had pretty good traffic coming to the site. I mean,
Hmm.
Shane is world known. He's an outspoken individual, truly. So I mean, he doesn't pull punches with camera and gear. He believes that every camera is right for telling a particular story, but not one piece of gear to tell a story, all the stories combined. And
Right.
so he's very outspoken, and that's one of the things that's very powerful about Shane, is because he tells it like it is. And so when we actually uh, lit up our member mouse piece, Shane's Inner Circle, one of the things that, we already had some built in, followers, some people who really wanted that and requested that. So we came out of the gate fairly strong. And one of the things that we're working on is to build our presence, because if we look at the United States, that's one aspect of the market. And we look at the rest of the world, they're all into cinematography. We don't have the lock on that piece here in America.
Right.
And so we've started to reach out into Mexico, and we've actually have some of his. He did an illumination tour across the country. We've actually translated those into Spanish. So we're looking at how we can actually come out with a member mouse piece that is completely Spanish based,
Oh, that's great.
as we start to build that out, because cinematography is the art that transcends any language. Bottom line, it's a
Hmm.
visual art, and whether you speak Chinese, French, Spanish, it doesn't make any difference. It's still the visual art of lighting and telling a story, and we want to get that out to the world.
Yeah, that's great. Well, listen, Ryan, let me ask you this. What is your goal? I mean, it sounds like you want to sell more of Shane's Inner Circle. Would that be the best agenda for this call? Optimizing shanesinnercircle.com to sell more memberships?
Yeah, I think it's there's twofold in terms of what I view, and number one is obviously selling more memberships, because that allows us to create more content and to continue to deliver the experience. The other piece is actually the experience, and what else can we do to make it truly a unique experience beyond just delivering member mouse protected pages, for
Hmm.
example. I mean, and member mouse does a great job of that, but we've really looked at our UI, and we kind of have some technical stuff that we've done that has created issues for us, um, and we've worked through them pretty well. But yeah, it's really about selling more memberships and delivering a richer experience for the member.
Hmm.
And really, I think the bottom line for us is pushing their skill set to challenge themselves, and to move to the next place in their professional or amateur career, as they build towards that.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so where do you want to start? Should I go to
Sure,
shanesinnercircle.com?
sure.
Okay, so this is how people get to. Um, this is probably their first experience with shanesinnercircle.com.
That's correct. So that's our basically squeeze page,
Mm-hmm.
kind of giving understanding what's what it is. The video kind of goes into depth. Become member. We talk about the exclusive content. On set with Shane, for example, is really cool. He actually takes you on set with him, and does audio podcasting about the challenges of the day, how he overcame them, film theory, lighting techniques, tests, camera profiles.
Mm-hmm.
And we've still got some tweaking to do to this, but I think we came out with a pretty good.
Yeah, it's a beautiful page. It's
Got to rework those little guys right there, but
yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to get a
so now we
first
go into depth.
impression, right?
Yeah, we're trying to go into depth here a little bit about exactly what each one of them is
Mm-hmm.
and what you should expect from lighting diagrams to, the whole 9 yards. So another cool part is he breaks down some of the features that he shot and showed the lighting schemes and gags that were used to create that.
Sure.
And the design was done by Justin Golt and Ryan Osborne, great designers. And we're so pleased that we have them on our team to create such meaningful designs. Now, it's always the trouble of implementing their designs is always, the challenge that we always work towards. And so we're still working this piece out.
Yeah, I would say this is an excellent foundation. I mean, it's not perfect, but you guys are doing a great job. So before I go and pick it apart, we should start there and say this really does look professional. The color scheme is fantastic. The textures are great. Obviously, a lot of the imagery is top notch. The video is best in class. So this is a really fantastic foundation. One of the things that I would say, um, you know, I tend to be very picky about copy, right? Headlines, and I'm also very picky about benefits and the benefits of the benefits. So when I scroll through this, there's a lot of there's a lot of what you get. But there's not a lot of language to me as an aspiring filmmaker that really speaks to my hopes and dreams. Right? It's like your virtual membership grants you access to X, Y, and Z. Okay, but there's a copywriting technique called the benefit of the benefit, which really starts to speak to what I really want as a filmmaker. I want to make feature films, or I want to make commercials, or I want to make music videos, and I want that look, that cinematic look that everyone chases after. Um, I think there's probably five things that many aspiring cinematographers are trying to nail. One of those things would be the cinematic look. Probably um, lighting is very difficult. I would say networking, right? How did Shane become um, a well-known figure in the industry? So I think that there are some benefits that you could speak to that talk to me. I would say something along the lines of learn the techniques that will set you apart from amateur filmmakers. Right? That's something, your virtual membership starts now, it kind of falls flat, right?
Right,
And
right,
and
right.
and this is the hero section. So this section here is absolutely critical and um, deserves a week or a month worth of tweaking. So, I think there's probably a better layout for this section. Perhaps I could see kind of an old school headline across the top here. I suppose there's this video. Let's take a look at this.
We live in exciting times. Never has there been such a content creation boom. And with this, the thirst for knowledge, guidance, direction, virtual mentoring. This amazing resource gives you the why behind the how, a mix of theory with the practical. Pulling from my 20 years of storytelling experience, this is my commitment to you and to your filmmaking journey. Think of it as me giving you the keys to my cassettes.
Okay, so forget everything I just said because the work, his work speaks for itself, and
Yeah.
that's obviously a very compelling video, probably one of the most compelling membership sales videos I've ever seen, considering who it's coming from. So you guys clearly have an advantage here.
I'll tell Shane you said that.
No, I mean it's undoubtedly true.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's work from that. I mean, you guys have the capacity to kind of put some stuff together that most membership sites can't. They just can't pull off. So what I would do is this video section here, this hero section. I think what you'd want to do is you want to make this video larger so that it maybe takes up, I'm thinking maybe you kind of do, something like this where it's taking up a much larger section of this hero position, and I would still have a hard-hitting headline, something
Okay.
along the lines of learn the techniques that separate professional cinematographers from the amateurs. That's not great, but it hits on kind of the differential, okay? Because I've been to a few other blogs where there's camera reviews, and again, there's the YouTube jockeys. But what you have here in Shane is a true world-class professional, and that needs to be embellished. It's one thing to see Shane's work, which is fantastic, but it's another thing for me to want to buy into shanesinnercircle.com. And I think the way that you do that is I would have some third-party interviews, whether it's with guys like you or his crew, people around him, his wife perhaps, students of his, his biggest fans, and I would capture some of those interviews, and I would actually start the video with some of that content, something along the lines of, Shane is a world-class cinematographer, and his techniques, learning from his techniques, have absolutely changed my style of filmmaking. Cut to another scene of another student saying, learning directly from Shane through his Inner Circle program has taken my lighting and my craft to a whole nother level. Cut to another student saying, just what I've learned in terms of camera angles has dramatically, impacted the drama in my shots, right? And then you cut to Shane speaking about the mentorship. So now you're kind of sandwiching Shane between other people talking about him, building him up, right? It's like when you have a big fight, right? A boxing match. You have the guys who come out and pump up the fight and pump up the fighters. You kind of need to have that third party in there elevating Shane to an authority figure, because that authority, position, which you guys are carving out for sure, but I think you guys could really step it up a notch and have those interviews kind of sandwiching the front and back. And I'm sure you have some of the raves, members rave right here. Okay.
Yeah, because all those items you talked about, we have those in spades. So no problem.
So, but so here's the thing, right? I talked about this on the last MemberMouse Academy call, where the testimonials are a really big deal, and to make them more hard hitting. And what I had suggested for the previous Academy call was to use kind of the intercom.io testimonial, where it's a very large, high quality, high resolution photo, and it's a much more concrete and hard hitting thing. But you guys can make some killer video. I mean, it's going to be fantastic, right? And along with the music, it's just going to hit home so much harder. So that would be one of the things I would say is make me feel when I come to this page that I really have to watch this. And I think by making it bigger, putting a headline, and really just adding some third-party stuff to that video would really really go a long way, because this video, what you guys can produce is going to be world class. So I would lead with that as your strongest ammunition, because video is the most compelling medium that we have to tell our stories, right?
Absolutely.
So that would be my first thing. So this browse more content, I mean, where does this go?
Basically shows you all the content that's in the inner circle, so you get an idea of the depth of the content.
All right. Well, this is killer. This needs to be on this page here. So what I would do is I would move that content here.
Okay.
Because you got to remember, only a small percentage of people will click on any given item on a page, and it's usually less than 10%. I mean, this browse more content, you might have, I don't know, 5 to 10% of people clicking on that button, right? So you're missing this high impact.
Yeah, and that definitely makes sense.
It's just statistics. I mean, there's only so many people that are gonna click on that. So learn more. Where does that take me? Oh, this is great. So again, you really can't rely on people clicking buttons, because they don't. You got to remember, right? People are going to land on this page, and they're either going to, most likely, they'll click back. That's just, right? That's just global analytics. Most people will leave. They'll bounce.
Right.
Even some fans would be like, "Oh, this looks interesting, but I probably don't. I don't have the money for this," or people get distracted by stuff. So you really have to immediately grab their attention and present value. And part of presenting that value is this stuff, right? Is the authority, the legend, the myth of Shane. This IMDb is probably an interesting link, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He was DP for Inside the HBO on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think he did some of their promos for Game of Thrones, and usually how those work is they'll bring in a a world-renowned DP and to shoot some of the pilots. And then as the series moves forward, depending upon the organization, they change that out.
So to me, this is an incredibly impressive
body of work, yeah.
Body of work, and I don't really see this until it's really at least 2 clicks away,
Okay.
and I have to click this IMDb button to get there. Okay,
Copy
so right, I land on here, and I think, well, okay, this is interesting, but there's a lot of video tutorials out there. So how can you really separate Shane's Inner Circle from every other? And the way I would do it is I would use this. I would have a section, right, that is probably, you'll have your big video here. Shane is the man. This is world-class cinematography techniques that you can't learn anywhere else. And then I would immediately go into, I would probably move this membership section down, because you're kind of, I'm not sold yet, right? I want to know, I want to get the feeling that, wow, I can learn from a guy who was DP on Terminator Salvation. That's different. That is dramatically different than watching some YouTube jockey. That is a completely different ball game. And what you could do is you could take either an image from each one of these movies, or I'm not sure what you guys have rights to use, or if you could use a few seconds from the movie.
Yeah, that's the fun game.
Yeah. You guys
Yeah.
would know better than me what you can use, or maybe
Yeah.
just if it's just a still shot. I'm not sure if you could get permission or whatnot. But if you could make like a panel, almost like you did here, or no, not here, on the browse content, where you have kind of a matrix of some of the movies, that Shane has done. And maybe that link to the IMDb. Now I'm starting to see, wow, this guy is the real deal. And then I would go into, I would probably go into testimonials, but higher impact testimonials. You could do video testimonials if you wanted to do standalone videos where it was. I suppose you could have one video with several testimonials, and then you could bring this stuff to life, right? Because this stuff is a little flat. Text testimonials are kind of the lowest impact.
Okay.
So now, if you can imagine the page, we're getting this large, high impact hero video, and then we're seeing some of the credits and some of this. Some of this authority content. This image is kind of cool. I like a lot of this stuff. I imagine this is a killer video. Oh, right. So here, this is kind of what you could use if you couldn't get screenshot permission. You could use this stuff. I'd probably put feature films on top and then commercials. But yeah, definitely integrate some of this content because it's really good. But you just can't assume that people are going to click on this stuff. To put it a few clicks away.
It puts it out of reach.
Yeah, it puts it out of reach, and that's some of your hardest hitting stuff. So let's see. Now, what do people normally choose? I'm sure 80% of them choose the monthly membership.
Well, we're seeing you're correct. We are seeing the monthly membership as our primary vehicle, but we've seen a great insurgence of the annual membership as well, which is for us that's a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
that they really want to go on this ongoing journey, and that's what our content is so unique. It's not, don't expect just when you show up that you're going to have the whole world given to you. And so it's an ongoing journey in terms of what Shane is working on next. He's a band lad, so we're going to expect content to be derived from what he's experiencing there. And people are already asking questions because it's a television series versus a major motion picture cinematic release. We're already getting the questions. How does that differ? And what does that mean to me? And so we're, it's this journey, it's this commitment journey. We're seeing the annual memberships starting to rise, but you are correct. 80% of what we're doing is monthly, because we're trying to make it affordable and make it something to where you can see the value and just continue on down the road with us and create that cinematic journey together. And that's really what I think what we really want to come through in the site, and it's really because it's the belief of Lydia and Shane, is that Shane wants to take his members on this journey to take them to a greater place. It's not just us selling membership, and we really want that to be impactful, that we're selling an opportunity to get education that you can't get anywhere else. And we've had comments, I wish I would have known about this. I would have never gone to film school.
Right.
I've learned more in one day of looking at your content than I have in a year of film school.
So
those types of comments
those
are
are the
huge.
testimonials that you want on video, right? I mean,
Okay.
that's powerful stuff.
That's gold. Yeah.
I mean, that's gold. I mean, to
Yeah.
compare this library of content to film school is something you should be doing. You could even make a table with comparison, where you compare film school to Shane's Inner Circle. And frankly, I don't say this. I've actually never said this to a membership owner of a membership business, but you guys may be able to nix the monthly and just sell the annual. It's worth a test. I don't think it'll. I don't think it'll work, but you could test it. You could really test the pitch that, hey, look, this is an annual membership, and as part of that annual membership, you're going to go on a journey with Shane on set. This is, and you could call it tuition, right? Your annual tuition, is only $185 a year. Those are just some ideas. I'm not saying that's right, because I know everybody buys monthly and they want to kind of try things out. But if you position this as a tuition type program where it was almost like an online film school, you may be able to raise the price. I mean, you could potentially raise the price to $299. And just say the annual tuition is $299 a year, because it's so powerful. And
well, that's funny you say that, because initially we started out, we had what we call an early adopter phase, and those were our followers who were very adamant about what we're doing here and very excited. And we actually had lower monthly rate coupled with a lower annual membership as well. And that was mainly offset by our trusted partners who help us and support us in the industry, which we list visibly. And so recently we've gone to what we believe to be a little bit more normalized and even cheap. And I appreciate you saying that, because we believe that the content is worth far more. But at the same token, it comes back to that conversation of, we're doing this. There's a twofold of making money and being true purveyors of education. And so we are continually having those conversations, because there's the reality of running a site of this magnitude is the sheer cost of, whether it's the web development time, it's the hosting that supports this system, if it's the editing, that goes into all the equipment that goes into doing camera tests. And so we're trying to make sure that there's an understood value well beyond what the either the annual or the monthly is, because it's huge. And when you look at doing a camera test, I mean, that's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to do camera tests. There's grip, there's lighting, there's camera, there's gear, there's personnel, there's post, there's edit. You know, it's staggering. And I would like to be able to somehow, without it being, you know, a salesy piece, it's just a reality piece of what truly this is, because we believe that Shane's Inner Circle can be the de facto standard in terms of high quality, real world cinematography education.
Yeah, absolutely.
Across the world.
Absolutely.
Across the world.
Definitely. And I think you guys have a clear shot at winning that positioning in the market. I think, you know, I can't say I know the market in its entirety, but I'm familiar. You know, I've been to enough video blogs, and it's probably an undersell calling it video blog, but
right.
You know, it's a fantastic program. So, you know, I guess, well, there's a few things that I want to address in terms of call to actions. Your call to action buttons are a little bit
soft.
Well, you know, there's sign up, there's member login, learn more, become a member, home, and I have this nav here. So there's nothing. I guess the become a member is fairly strong, but
as opposed to start your journey today.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is that you have 4 different call to actions here. I would say 5. Home is kind of highlighted. Sign up, member login, learn more, and become a member. You kind of lose some of the impact from become a member, which is really what you want people to click. So I would eliminate the learn more button, right? Because this learn more, you're going to move all this stuff onto the main homepage. And people always freak out and say, "Oh, well, the page is already too long." Well, no, it's not. I mean, scrolling. Look at Facebook. I mean, Facebook. People will scroll on Facebook for days and days and days, and we're used to that. We're okay. Scrolling is a very acceptable user interface UI technique. So don't worry about the page getting too long. What you should be worrying about is where it starts to slow down. You know, this inner circle facts, this is not working. Or, you know, this has got to go.
Yeah.
You know, this is not helping your case at all. You know, just put the question and then put the answer in just text. Just make it a text section. Maybe you click on the question and it expands or something like that. But yeah, that section has got to go. This section again, this is great. I would probably nix these 3 videos. Are these videos or just images? I think they're images.
They're videos.
Oh, they are. I'll click on this.
So what we're doing here is just kind of giving an insight as to what you...
No, I get that. But you actually don't want to give away too much up front.
Okay.
It actually lowers... It can lower your conversion rate. Because people end up... You know, they watch a bunch of videos and they think, this is interesting. But you only have a certain amount of time to keep somebody excited and wanting to sign up. So I would nix these videos, because this one, this is really compelling because I can just mouse over and I'm going to watch this. So remove the browse more content, remove all these, and make it lighting techniques, right? And then you have the video, and then on set with Shane, and then you have the video, because this stuff is super compelling. But this stuff just kind of looks, it takes away from this section here in this video. You know, imagine
Copy
if
that.
I could just see this stuff, lighting techniques, on set with Shane, right? Film theory.
Whether you're
And then, you know, this stuff is taking away. It's actually reducing the impact
just starting out,
of these great videos here. So, because that stuff is kind of taking up. Maybe this stuff might be okay to leave. The camera profiles.
increase your efficiency and productivity.
That's kind of cool. But you probably have a bunch more, right? There's probably a dozen or a half dozen
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
LUTs. So maybe you like list those out with bullet points, maybe
Okay.
something like that. You know, again, I don't think that this under here is adding much. You know, you could probably put one or two nice quotes for the forum. And at the bottom, you also want to have a call to action, because people are going to scroll all the way to the bottom and they're going to hit this footer, and it's a little bit of a letdown. You know, on MemberMouse we have a section here. You know, I think it says you know, start your free trial, and then a call to action. You always want to end strongly. You know, and I think you could probably put, I think it was, you probably have another amazing video here. Yeah, I'm sure this whole thing is...
It's killer.
Oh yeah, this stuff is... I mean, this stuff is amazing, but it's buried on a page 2, and people are not, they're not seeing that. Okay, so you need to bring that up front, up top, around here. You know,
Okay.
have this section be like, see for yourself, something like that. That really puts some of that video front and center. And these are the techniques that are going to separate you from the amateur filmmakers. And so the call to actions need to be become a member, right? Try to minimize, you know, the login could be a link. It could even be over here, log in and become a member. Or at least change sign up to become a member, because you want to be consistent.
Copy that. Yeah.
You know, remove the learn more, make the become a member button maybe even a little bit bigger, and then, you know, by having this monthly membership gray, you're kind of it almost looks like it's disabled. It's almost like, and you're probably doing that to highlight the annual, but if you know that 80% of people are going to be going after monthly, don't make it look disabled. I mean, I would probably make it at least the same blue.
Okay.
You know, or like this kind of orangey, maybe like an orange type color, but don't make it look disabled.
Gotcha.
On the price points, people think in terms of $20 bills, at least when it comes to consumer marketing. So there's no difference between $17.95 and $19.95. So you might as well price it at $19.95. You're really not going to see any difference. People will sign up at pretty much the exact same rate. That's a pretty hard and fast rule. You know, of course, it may vary for some industries and products, but for membership sites, you know, $19.95 is essentially the same as $17. However, $9.95 is very different, right? Because,
right.
you know, $9.95 and under is very different. So I would bump this up to $19.95, and I would bump this up to $199, because again, there's, you know, people thinking $20 bills, so you're not really going to see $185 making that much of an impact. $199, and you know, again, I would consider price testing a little bit more. I would test $299, and I would maybe test $39 a month, because I mean, I imagine there's so much value here. You might be underselling a little bit.
Right.
And just something to price test. We talked about removing this stuff. And we got to talk about your checkout page. So
Yeah, it's in flux right now.
yeah. So you have
The bane of our existence
is
is
this
PayPal.
is this an almost like an interstitial that I'm landing on? Like I have to choose annual versus monthly?
Yes.
Okay. You know what I would probably do is when you click on become a member, you want to send them to the checkout page, and I would probably default to the monthly membership
Okay.
at $19.95, and I would maybe have a pull down where they can change the product. You can look on MemberMouse.com. That's what we do. So you could change your plan if they wanted to purchase the annual,
Okay.
but putting a lot of this content is just repeated, right? I mean, all you're really doing is having them select a plan, but you're still moving them further away from the checkout page. So when they hit become a member, they should land on the checkout page. Now this is not working. This is not doing you guys
Any service, yeah.
any service. So I don't mean to be harsh, but I want to
No,
make
it's
sure
okay.
that I'm giving you my accurate, honest assessment. So you don't want to have a navigation bar. You don't really want to have any of this. The logo is fine, but you're repeating the logo, right? So you only need it once. I kind of prefer the one in color. And frankly, I would probably nix this whole top bar, right? Because it's a little dark, and with commerce, white is a bit more trustworthy.
Okay.
So I would probably keep this. I would shrink the logo, throw it up in the corner, and I would have a form where everything should be visible on one screen. It should be above the fold. Having to scroll on a checkout page is the one place where I think scrolling is no good.
The kiss of death, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just not. You just don't want to do it. You want to have the form. That's why you nix the top so you get more space. Have the logo up in the top left. Have the form, maybe broken out into two components. Account information and billing details. And then if you look at the MemberMouse checkout form, we have the submit the order button on the right, along with security seals, which you need some security seals. I imagine your encryption is in place, so
It is. We just changed our SSL provider.
yeah. So make sure you have your SSL seal, and really work on this form. You can get a lot of mileage by cleaning this up and making it all above the fold. In your submit order button, you want this to be a different color. I usually go with the same color as my CTA button on the home page. Something like this blue.
Okay.
Because you want it to be kind of the same experience, right? I click on purchase membership and then I hit submit order, and I'm kind of following the same architecture of look and feel. Your call to action buttons, they have to really stand out like a stop sign in a way.
Gotcha.
This stuff should have a white background because it kind of looks a little broken, but
Yeah.
I know you're aware of the problems, but yeah, I would probably put this copy at the bottom of the form, so you have your fields, and then maybe you have you have your account details in the top row, your billing details in the second row, and then you could throw this into like the sidebar. If you look at the way we do it on MemberMouse.com, you could throw it in the right, or you could throw it in the bottom. Because when I land on this page, I'm already sold in the sense that, yeah, I want to do this, And to slow me down with some copy right up top gets me a little less excited. It's like, all right, well, let me
Gotcha.
just put in my details. Here's my credit card. Let's do this. I wanna get inside the site. Um, so this is definitely your biggest area for improvement. But um, I think that's probably enough for the site critique. How are you driving? I mean, I guess you're doing content marketing. You're getting quite a few visitors to your blog. I think the last thing that we could probably take a look at is how you're driving people to the inner circle page. It seems like this call to action here in the top left, you have the inner circle link in the nav bar, um, and that's probably about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're getting, this blog is getting a lot of traffic, let's see what you do in a post. Because the post has the same header. So what I would do,
See, and that's another thing that we've done is that we're creating content because we don't want to not share some of the jewels, but we want to keep the jewels for the inner circle members as well as we've developed forward. And so we're also splitting posts now to where we have a version that goes out into the free blog.
yep.
I'm not completely sold on what you're looking there.
Well, I think that's fine. You can use MemberMouse smart tags to, based on the membership level to reveal content. So you could have this blog um, unlock content. I suppose you have it on a different domain name.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that, the historical perspective of our domain names has always been a concern on just how we started because it was hurlbuttvisuals.com and we had the the directory of blog and that's where we were creating this original content. And it has morphed into something that if I had to do over again, obviously I would,
Mm-hmm.
but at this point it's a very difficult proposition to change your domain linking in
Yep.
terms of the structure. And so it's kind of like, gosh darn it, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, one of the things I would say is I would probably put a banner at the bottom of every blog post
okay.
that has a call out to Shane's Inner Circle. Almost like if you look at some author bios on different blogs, you'll see a call out, maybe not so much like a banner ad, something that's a little bit more HTML-ish, so
Okay.
that it doesn't look so much like an ad, but you could have a nice little promo for Shane's Inner Circle at the bottom of every blog post. Because I imagine you're getting search engine traffic to particular, you know, uh, blog posts, and people are being like, wow, this is amazing content. And then, if there was a nice call to action at the bottom, I think you'd get a lot of clicks from that. And I would probably add something here in the sidebar. Um, maybe down the bottom here after your sponsors. Um, you have the Shane's Inner Circle here, which is great. Oh, this is the e-commerce section. Yeah, I mean that would be my last bit of feedback would be,
Okay.
really think about how you can drive a bit more traffic to this page, and I think you could do that, like I said, called outs at the bottom of each blog post and something in the sidebar um, that's maybe a little bit different than Shane's Inner Circle. Maybe something that says, um, something that invokes authority. Uh, you know, learn the world-class techniques that separate professionals from amateurs. Shane's Inner Circle, learn more. something along those lines. And then you'll drive more traffic to this page, and with some of the changes we've made, I think you'll improve your conversion here, and the checkout page improve conversion there, and you'll educate a lot more aspiring cinematographers. So
Awesome.
I think
This
that's
has been
about
fun,
it.
man. Yeah, this has been fun. I really, really appreciate your insight. And one of the things that I've learned is that when you're in the bits and the bytes, what may have originally be conceived as a great idea, um,
Yeah.
doesn't pan out. So your words of wisdom and guidance are greatly appreciated.
Yeah, well, you guys are doing a great job. You really are. One of the things that's toughest, right, is it's tough to critique yourself when you're in the thick of it and you've been staring at the page for so long, and you get cognitive biases where you can't really see what to do next. So yeah, you guys are doing a great job, and please, Ryan, keep in touch because I want to see the changes to this page because I really just want to watch the video. It's so cool. So
Absolutely, man.
last thing, where should I go with the Sony A7S or the 7D Mark II?
I don't know. Shane actually was really cool after he shot Act of Valor, and we had gone through that whole process. Sent me a brand new Canon 5D Mark II with a really nice card and something to the effect of, here's the Porsche of cinematography.
That's great.
Go create. I think that we're in a world now and that is so changing drastically as we watch film start to slip, but we still want the filmic look with all the digital sensors. And this is where this gets fun for us because Shane comes from the world of film and has been a pioneer in the digital sensor world. And so now we're just seeing this meshing of these worlds to give that look. And we're very passionate about it. And I know Shane and Lydia are extremely passionate, and as the entire team, from programming to video production to delivery, it's a passion project for all of us.
Yeah, no, that's clear. And I wish you guys the best of success. Thank you for being a MemberMouse customer, and please keep in touch.
I will. Thanks so much, Dan.
All right, thanks, Ryan. Take care.
All right.